We are back at the Parliament and at Vijay Chowk. Arunima and I will be covering over the next 1 hour all the details. And for those who are wondering why are we back again, well, the big vice presidential elections are going to be taking place. The voting begins at 10 a.m. sharp. Prime Minister is expected to be the first person who's going to cast his vote before he heads for Punjab on an aerial tour of both Punjab as well as Himachal Pradesh. The counting is expected to begin at around 6 p.m. today. It should last by 2 p.m. 2 hours, and by 8 p.m. we should be knowing who should be the next Vice President of India. But why was there a need for these Vice Presidential polls?
That was because Jagdeep Dhankar suddenly put down his papers. He resigned on health grounds. And even though the opposition has been speculating whether the reality indeed is health, the reality of today is that C.P. Radhakrishnan has emerged as a front runner. He is the candidate for the National Democratic Alliance. All NDA partners have come on board. Even Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP, which is not an NDA alliance partner, have decided to throw their weight with the NDA. Congress party is alleging that Jagan Mohan Reddy is scared, he's apprehensive of CBI cases, but whatever the reason, the fact remains that this battle seems to be heavily in favor of the NDA at the moment. But even then, Sudarshan Reddy, former Supreme Court judge, is also in the fray. He's the candidate for the India front. So in just an hour and a half from now, the ball will literally start rolling for the next Vice President of India.
नक्सलवाद जुलम को इन्होंने खारिज कर दिया। इसके कारण इस देश में नक्सलवाद 2 दशक ज्यादा चला है।
C.P. Radhakrishnan has a background of RSS. His RSS links can't be forgotten.
अपने पार्टी के हित में नहीं, देश के हित में मतदान करिए।
So essentially what is happening today is both sides, this is a democratic system. Even though India Front realizes they do not have the numbers, they've decided to make a fight of this just because they want to prove a point. But the National Democratic Alliance are firmly in the saddle. They have the numbers and they're also taking all possible steps to ensure that there is no cross-voting.
And the opposition party is now making it a battle about ideology and principles. And even though they don't have the numbers, and they know it, they're saying, okay, those who did not vote for our candidate are not interested in protecting the constitution. But it's going to be a lengthy process today. But there have been lots of backroom negotiations which have been going on, and a lot of thought given to the choice of both the candidates. In fact, my colleague Payal Mehta did catch up with the Parliamentary Affairs Minister just after the 2-day workshop conducted by the NDA ended yesterday. Let's listen in to what he had to tell Payal.
Kiranji, what did the Prime Minister say today? He stressed upon Swadeshi movement and he stressed upon Atmanirbhar Bharat.
So Prime Minister has always been saying same thing, and today he has stressed it that every Indian must contribute to make Atmanirbhar Bharat, and Atmanirbhar Bharat is the only way to make Viksit Bharat. So that is why we must ensure that Swadeshi Saman, any item made in India, must be given.
Therefore, India is going to be self-reliant and nobody will be able to control India?
No, it is not exactly that. The situation is well understandable because India is growing so fast. India is today the fastest growing economy amongst the big GDP nations. So naturally, when India is at the top, growing so fast at the rate of 7.8%, which is unthinkable for any other major economies. So when a nation like India's size is growing so fast, that means it is adding huge amount of GDP to its total size. So naturally we will face stiff competitions from other parties, other nations. So that is how it is not against any country or remark which is aimed in any particular nation, but it is to make we Indian aware of our achievement and also aware of our responsibility to ensure that India must keep growing despite facing difficulties, challenges and other resistance, but we will keep growing. So we will have to ensure that we become self-reliant. That is the underlining.
So you've heard the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, but to analyse that further, Payal Mehta is joining us right from outside the Parliament. Shireen is tracking the opposition candidate, former Justice of Supreme Court, Mr. Reddy. Justice Reddy is India Front's candidate. Shireen is tracking him. Aman Sharma is at the residence of Prahlad Joshi, and he's keeping a close eye on NDA's candidate, CP Radhakrishnan.
And in fact, Prahlad Joshi's residence is going to be the focus of attention once the results are out, because that's where the candidate is going to be given that certificate and then the process steps in. But let me go across to Payal first, who has been getting us each and every detail over the last 2 days. Payal, very quickly, the numbers are not an issue at all as far as the NDA candidate is concerned. But over the 2 days of workshop which you covered, what was the larger message which you think came across from the BJP and the government to the NDA partners?
A message of unity certainly is something that the government has really tried to send out, and therefore, apart from Kiran Rijiju being the polling agent who was announced long time ago, the BJP has included Ram Mohan Naidu from TDP and Shrikant Shinde from the Shiv Sena as the polling agent for Mr. Radhakrishnan as well. That is something which you've seen. And also senior ministers in the government, Pallavi, went on to go ahead and meet MPs in the NDA in chunks, explain to them the entire voting process, taking them along as well. So that big meeting that happened yesterday, where the Prime Minister spoke elaborately, also saw the presence of NDA MPs. The Prime Minister gave each one of them a very, very important message to take back home, saying these are difficult times. These are times on which India has to really come up and show its resilience, and therefore, Swadeshi movement, Atmanirbhar movement has to be on. Very quickly, Pallavi, the Prime Minister gave an example essentially and said that अगर आपको गाड़ी चलानी है तो आपकी टायर में हवा होनी चाहिए, तभी आप स्पीड से भाग सकते हैं. Similarly, GST are reforms that are actually very, very beneficial for the people of the country, especially the masses, and that benefit needs to reach out to them. So what programs can be carried on? There was of course no discussion that the Prime Minister held in terms of the numbers, but the floor managers are extremely, extremely confident that they'll get way above the expected number that the NDA really has. The floor managers of the government are very, very confident that there'll be a significant amount of people either abstaining or cross-voting.
Right. Payal is tracking all that detail of how the process is unfolding inside the new Parliament building, where both the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha MPs will cast their vote. But Aman, what's the scene like at Prahlad Joshi's residence? Any early morning puja that CP Radhakrishnan is doing before the big day begins?
Well, Arunima, apart from the Parliament, which is of course the main scene of action today because the voting is going to happen there, I think the residence of Prahlad Joshi, where I'm standing and where CP Radhakrishnan has been based all these days, is also going to be a major, major scene of action. Right now, we're not being allowed inside. I just got a sneak peek when I walked inside, and already the preparations are on inside of this impending victory of CP Radhakrishnan. Big tents have come up inside, a big stage is coming up inside, and in the evening when CP Radhakrishnan registers this victory, as the BJP is expecting him to, the certificate of the win will also be handed over to him here. You can see these big hoardings which have come up outside Prahlad Joshi's residence of CP Radhakrishnan, giving his entire life history, how his life has been dedicated to Jan Seva, as these posters are saying, explaining his entire journey, right from the days of the RSS, a very important point which went in the favor of Mr. Radhakrishnan to be the NDA's choice as the NDA candidate, right from his days with the Bharatiya Janasangh in 1974 to becoming the BJP's, I would say, the face of the South by coming to Tamil Nadu, the only BJP MP who has won twice from Tamil Nadu from the seat of Coimbatore till date. And after that, him being the BJP chief of Tamil Nadu, then also occupying, very important, I would say, governor positions, both in Maharashtra and in some other states, in which there had been no controversy surrounding him. In the Modi government's tenure, we have seen many governors, including the former Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar when he was in West Bengal, having a steady run-in with the state government, especially if it was an opposition-ruled government. But when it comes to Mr. Radhakrishnan, this has been to his favor, that even during his governorship role, he has worked very, very cordially with the chief ministers and ensured a very good, healthy working relationship. I think all these points, his RSS background, his strong base in the south, his strong knowledge, I would say, of constitutional matters, went into the BJP's decision to have him as their vice presidential candidate, somebody who's rooted, I would say, in the RSS and the BJP ideology. Quite unlike, Jagdeep Dhankar, because this time the feeling was inside the BJP that they should get somebody who's totally rooted in their ideology, so that there are no skirmishes or no misunderstandings as emerged in the case with Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar. That said, I think Mr. Radhakrishnan, the numbers are stocked in his favor. He has been very, I would say, very, very cordial, very, very gracious in this campaign, going and meeting various leaders. And that is why I think the BJP has also been able to rally even a party like the YSRCP, which is neither in the NDA camp nor in the INDIA camp, to vote with its 11 MPs in the favor of Mr. Radhakrishnan. I think, Arunima, three parties need to be closely kept a watch today. One is YSRCP, which has already declared that it will vote in the favor of the NDA candidate with 11 MPs, the BRS with the 4 MPs, and the BJD with 7 MPs. So they also amount to 11 MPs, but they are abstaining from this particular vote. So I think these three parties have become very, very crucial in the entire vice presidential election. The BJP is very confident that the NDA numbers will be almost 100 votes more than the INDI bloc by the end of the day. They are expecting anywhere between 435 and 440 votes in their favor, while the INDA camp could be easily over 100 votes behind when finally the results come in today. The voting begins at 10. The Prime Minister will be among the first ones to vote at 10 a.m.
Yes, that's right. So we are going to go across to my colleague Shireen also, who's standing outside the India bloc candidate, which is Mr. Sudarshan Reddy. Shireen, the numbers are not with the India bloc, and they are very, very aware of that. But they've made it an ideological or a fight for principles and the constitution. But you have also been reporting how barbs have come in from Jairam Ramesh, for example, on YSR. What has been the strategy? If you can just capsule it for us, what has been the strategy over the last couple of days? And why is it that the India bloc thought it was important to put up a candidate?
Pallavi, I would say that the strategy in the last day was nothing, because I think initially there was a lot of strategy that was in the mind of the opposition parties. They did, came up with this candidate who has done his career, who was a judge in Andhra Pradesh High Court. He was, in fact, for the longest time served in the courts in Andhra Pradesh and then become a judge. And they were hoping that both TDP and the YSRCP would be, in fact, supporting this particular candidate. But eventually they realized that be it BJD who has decided that they are going to abstain, be it BRS who are going to abstain, and then YSRCP also announcing that they are going to go with the NDA candidate. Clearly, the strategy fell apart for the opposition party. Initially, they were very hopeful that they are in fact going to get the numbers, but now the strategy, of course, is that they are hoping around 315 to 320 votes, and they are hoping that at least keeps intact, and there is no cross voting from the INDA itself is the hope that is they are, of course, hoping for. Right now, I'm standing outside the hotel where the opposition VP candidate is in fact staying, and from here at about 9:30 is what we are being told that he will in fact be leaving for Parliament, because he wants to do a last minute campaign of sorts, meet the MPs. He has in fact been writing to all the MPs. We have been told by Jairam Ramesh that Sudarshan Reddy has in fact written to not just the opposition MPs but to the NDA MPs also to support the ideology. It's not about a certain party. It's not about which candidate is from a certain party or who he belongs to. It's about an ideology. It's about a position, the post of Vice President of India, and the conscience is something that needs to work here, is the appeal that was made by Sudarshan Reddy even 2 days back. So now he's of course hoping that the last minute, the last stretch is also something that he's going to cover in Parliament, where he's going to meet different MPs from different parties
and going to appeal to them for vote for them. Of course, the numbers are not in favor. They knew it from day one, but they were of course hoping that some sort of a magic could work, because he belongs to Andhra Pradesh, and two parties that they were actually heavily relying on were TDP and YSRCP. They have made their stand clear. So it's now just to keep the opposition votes intact is the strategy here.
Right. Thanks for that, Shari.